Today, what we're going to do is we're going to look at our spine. So we're going to try and go from our neck right the way down towards our pelvis. So Andy had kind of talked about that sort of lower back area feeling tight and stiff and whatever. So we're going to tackle it as a whole. Now, the spine is an even more complicated area than our shoulder, just because there are so many different vertebrae, okay? And we're trying to sequence all of them. If we're not able to control one part of that spine, what happens is the rest of it has to do more work to make up for that one part. So we tend to find that people who have like a fused spine in a certain part, or like maybe L4, L5 don't quite move, then other parts have to pick up the load and wear through a little bit quicker. So we're going to try and take care of that today, get all the parts moving and give you tools for that going forward. All right, so we'll do a general limber to start off with, get everything moving, and then we'll maybe do some resistive exercises, try and build up some strength, and then we'll do a bit of coordination stuff near the end. All right. So first thing we're going to get you to do, we're going to go and roll a nice big circle with that head. We're trying to get sort of chin onto the chest, then ear onto shoulder, and then chin up to the roof, other ear on the other shoulder. Might feel some pops and clicks and clacks and stuff. Let's change direction. Forward, there's a lot of very funky movements happening there. Alright, and then we'll go on to all fours. And what we'll do is the old classic cat and cow. So from our all fours position, we're thinking about pushing our spine up towards the roof, and as we do so, almost push those fingers away. So we're creating pressure as we push up. That tummy gets pulled in, bum nice and squeezed. And then we'll go the other way. We're trying to push the belly button towards the floor. We're trying to pull the hands back towards the knees and look that head up towards the sky. And reverse, spine towards the roof, bum squeezed, fingers pushed away. Tummy nice and squeezed. And then spine towards the floor, chin towards the sky. Try and pull those shoulder blades down towards your hips. Get those muscles all to work. And do one final one, spine to the sky. And spine to the floor. Okay, and then we can stay on our knees or standing or whatever. And from here we're going to slide down the side of our body, try and touch those fingers to the floor or to our knee, and same the other side. As we reach over to the side, trying to keep a nice straight line from our shoulder through our hip to our knee. As we go. Might feel a little pinch in the love handle area. Hopefully also feeling a stretch on the other side of your body.
Legs from the side.
Relax. So, it's useful to understand a bit of terminology when we're looking at our spine. So, if we were to look at something called flexion, flexion would be coming this way. Think hunchback, think like granny with a Zimmer frame, something like that. Extension then would be...
Excuse me, Jonathan, I can't see you. I can just see a gentleman in red.
Oh, if you flick over on the iPad.
Right, so how do I do that?
Use your finger, flick the screen.
So what do I do?
Go from the right to the left. And you'll see different options pop up.
Nope. No options.
You're on the iPad, right?
Yeah. Oh, I've got you now.
There we go. Wonderful. Super. Yep, so flexion this way. Extension then, we're going to go the other way. We're thinking about rolling the shoulders back, lifting that chest up, all that kind of stuff. And then we have side flexion this way. So if we combine all of those movements together, that spine then is very, very controlled. You'll see often in a gym, we talk about neutral spine, so I think like deadlift and squat, where we're trying to keep that spine nice and rigid, which is good for building strength. But what we've got to bear in mind is that in everyday life, it's very rare that we are actually able to maintain that position. You think about reaching over to get something, that's a combination of flexion and side flexion. And that's probably the weakest position we can be in, is when we are rotated over to the side. That's when things tend to go pop. You know, you reach a little bit further for a bag in the boot, and that's when things go pop. All right, so hopefully that kind of starts to build a picture in your head as to what's going on in your spine. Let's start to strengthen some of that stuff up. So I'll come a little bit closer. We're going to go with our head and neck again. I'm going to get you to push your hand against your temple. Okay, you're going to push hard, push hard, push hard. If you keep that chest up nice and tall and the head up nice and tall and push against the hand, we're building a little bit of traction through the neck. And we'll release. We'll do the same on the other side. Push, 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 push. And really feel that spine have to work hard, that neck have to work hard against the hand. Lovely, and relax. We'll do the same then. Hands behind the head. And we're going to try and pull the elbows forward but resist back with the head. Building up those neck muscles. And then same from the front. Try and push into your hand. But again, keeping that head in that neutral position. And relax. From that, anyone get any pops or clicks or anything like that? No? Wonderful. Good. So, same idea. This time I'm going to set that shoulder and, the ear on the shoulder. And from there, hand on top of the head. I'm going to try and resist that movement up. So we're applying force with the arm as we come up. We'll do 3 reps on that one side. Body stays nice and still, and we're just moving the head up into position. We'll do the same on the other side. Set the ear on the shoulder and then resist it up into position. Apply pressure up into position. And one last time. Pressure up into position. We'll go chin on chest, hands behind the head, and then again bring that head up into position. Chin on chest, hands on head, and resist up into position. And the last one. In position. And then this is the funkiest one of the whole lot. We're going to go hand on your chin and push yourself back into position. Try to have your chin relatively relaxed. So especially with a lot of desk work and stuff where that head tends to sit forward, or especially with the phones, it's a lot of weight that your head is putting on the top of your spine. And that's where we start to see that that one of those top vertebrae kind of stick up. I'm going to try and get that head strong enough and supported and free to do this. Andy. Okay, so let's move down the spine a little bit more. We're going to go into our kind of thoracic area, our upper back. So I'm going to get you to go on the floor. We're going to go kind of on your tummy and your hands down by your side, as if you're about to do a push-up. There. From here, we're going to lift that chin and then keep lifting the chin. And as the chin lifts up, we start to notice the top of the chest comes off the floor, then the middle chest, and maybe even the top of the ribs. We're lifting up and then setting back down. I could do that again with no hands on the floor. And we're trying to get those upper back muscles to do the work. All right, let's do like 5 controlled reps. if you're feeling your lower back doing a lot of work here, try and squeeze your bum and tuck it so that it's mostly just that upper back. Once you've done a few without your hands, you can use your hands to help just get an extra maybe 10-20% of motion. Wonderful. Once you've done that, then we'll just sit our bum back on towards our heels, leave our arms forward and kind of stretch out that little bit. Okay, so we've gone from our extensions sort of strength. We're just letting that spine flex out and relax a little bit. Cool. If it's uncomfortable, you can always go knees wider, set your tummy in between your legs, and that might even increase your stretch. All right. Then we're going to move down a little bit further. So we're going to go onto our elbows. So we're already in that extended position. And then from there, we're going to try and lift that chest up. And we're going to start to feel those lower back muscles. Instead of the upper ones from earlier, it's a lot lower down. We're going to lift up and down. We'll do 5 to 10 of those. Really trying to get those back muscles to do their work.
Sorry, we'll stop in a minute.
And then we'll stretch it back out again, back into that sort of frog position, thumb on the heels, arms will go forward, just release that tension. Okay, so we're going to go back to that sort of cobra shape that we were in before, where we're kind of on our elbows, but instead of being forward, we're going to go onto our side. So we'll be here. We're trying to really get some stretch through there. Now you might need to play around with this position a little bit. For some people, they'll need to go up higher on their arms and then come down, so they get a nice deep stretch there. And once you feel a stretch, you're going to engage the muscle and then come back down. We're trying to engage that muscle right down at the hip, that sort of oblique area, rather than the shoulder. Okay, the shoulder might engage a little bit, but we're trying to teach those lower spine muscles to do some work. We'll do like 5 to 10 reps, just a slight engage of that muscle. Once you've done your 5 to 10 on one side, change over. Again, if you get enough stretch on your elbow, great stuff, happy days. And if you need more stretch, you can go up on that straight arm. Once you feel this muscle stretch, that's the muscle you're going to engage. You may find if the hips kind of roll forward or back, it actually takes you away from the stretch. You might just need one hand there for guidance, just to help. So, we've gone from the top of our spine, kind of in and around our neck, right in where it fits into the skull. We've gone thoracic, we've worked down into our lumbar, and now we're kind of working on those side muscles that go into the pelvis. A couple of things we can try to get in deep. There's like quadratus lumborum, goes right into the bottom of the spine. You could sit on the floor and you could try and lift one hip at a time and see if you can shuffle yourself forward. It's called a QL walk. It's kind of goofy, but it's also quite effective, and you can do the same in reverse. If that was too tricky, you could do a standing version where you're standing up on, say, like the bottom step of the stairs, and then from there, I'm gonna have to try and pretend to do this. You push up off that, like bottom leg, and then bring yourself back down, up and down. So you're getting used to like tilting that pelvis. Okay. So
The gentleman with the red has come back again.
so just swipe yourself over, Nora. So have a little go. If you're able to do it on the floor, happy days. Maybe do like 10 shuffles forward and then 10 shuffles back. If you want to do it on your feet, you can do that too. Key there is to try and keep the legs straight, so it is actually the hip and the lower spine that's doing the work here. You can do that a couple of times. Try and sit up tall as you do it rather than slouching over. It's also a nice way to polish your floor. If you've got a wooden floor, you can stick a little furry thing under your bum and give it a wee polish. Fantastic. All right, so now we've kind of done a little bit of strengthy stuff for the spine. We're going to test it and test our control through something called a Russian twist. So we're going to have our feet pulled in at 90 degrees, toes pointed. We're going to have our arms out in front. Now, you could do this with a light weight, like 1-2 kilos, something like that. I'm just going to pretend for today. So we're squeezing our legs together. We're kind of slouching back. If I show you from the side, rather than being up tall, we're trying to really slump over. That tummy's nice and engaged. From there, we'll rotate over to the side. Feel those obliques work really hard. Feel that upper back rotate, and then we would set that weight down and bring it up. Notice how it's in line with my hips as I go over. So I'm super deliberate, keeping that tummy on, getting that rotation. Let's try 10 on each side. It's 20 in total. Okay. If you have a little weight, go for it. If not, just see how you control that movement. General rule of thumb is when you think you've got the end range of motion, go a bit further. This is the furthest I've gotten in this in about 3 months. Maybe all that spine stuff before helped. Who'd have thought of it? Nice, really fighting to hold that knee pressure. Trying to squeeze those knees together, build up that groin. Keeping those abs engaged as we rotate, feel the obliques working hard. Front of the shoulder might start to burn a little bit, that's okay. Nora, you still got a man in red, or have you got
Yes,
green?
I've got a man in red and a nice blue car.
Are you on the app itself, Nora?
As far as I know, I am.
Do you see 3 white dots at the bottom? Or like a white dot and 2 grey ones?
No.
No. If you tap the screen, do you see like a little thing come up with a green share
It
button?
says Andy, and there's like a wee set of stairs.
We set of stairs. And nothing happens if you swipe
at the
across
top.
the screen.
Pin the screen.
In the screen.
She clicks on you.
I don't know what Not sure, Nora. Hopefully you can hear kind of what we're
Oh,
talking
see you
about.
now. I've got you back. Got you back.
So, done a little bit of work for there. We've kind of mobilized it a little bit in extension. The final way we're going to mobilize it is through flexion, and then we're going to try and stick it all together, see if we can come up with a new dance move. So, you guys have all done this today already, but we're going to recap it anyway. We could do this one weighted as well. We're going to do our Jefferson curl. Our feet are together, our legs are locked,
Chin goes on the chest, and then we very deliberately go vertebra by vertebra, keeping that tummy on nice and hard as we come down. If we were to use a weight, that would help pull us down into position so we could go really, really far into our range. Keeping that chin on the chest, and then curl back up again.
That's how you do a weighted one. If you had a flat wall, you could actually set up with your feet maybe half a foot away from the wall, and you could use that wall as a marker to see if you are actually
Peeling off one at a time rather than just moving like
a plank of wood. Okay. So depending on what stage you're at or how you're feeling, you can try one of those two movements. We'll do like 5 to 10 reps. Again, depends on how you feel. All right? Cool. Okay.
What we want to avoid here is the spine moving as one. So if you can see yourself or record yourself and then play it back, it's a really good exercise to do that for. You'll see there's usually one part that's a wee bit stubborn, and I can usually try and work through it.
I don't know about you guys, but I get borderline ab cramps when I do that. Nice work, gang, nice work. Nice. Trickiest bit of this really is keeping those legs fully locked. It's easy for them to want to relax, so we can take pressure off the back of our legs, but let's try and keep them on. Joe, what is that you have in your hands?
I think it's an alloy.
That is fantastic.
It works, I took it.
That's creative, I like it. Nice. All right, so how are we going to stick this all together? We're going to try a couple of crazy dance moves. Each one might be more ridiculous than the last, but you know, hey, let's give it a go. So first one, deceptively simple. We're going to stand with our feet under our hips. From there, we're going to stick a finger on our sternum. That's the bit between your boobies. And from there, we're going to try and draw a circle around that finger with our hips. As we draw that circle, we want to try and keep those hips square. So rather than letting them kind of skew over there, we're going to try and keep them square as we go. Do maybe 5 one way and 5 the other. You might find that you try to move the chest rather than the hips, or you try to bend the legs. Let's try and be disciplined, hold that shape, control those hips. you're still going, that's fine. You keep cracking on. Second version is going to be the same but the opposite. So we're going to keep our hips locked in place this time, and we're going to go with a hand down one leg. Once we've gone as far as we can, we're going to bring the other hand over to match it. We'll slide on down the outside of the leg. Then we're going to brush our hands across the middle of the floor until we reach the other leg. Then we're going to slide up
And then open up that arm. Now reach behind the leg, try and transfer over
until we're back to normal again. Don't worry, I'm going to talk you through that. So, left hand, let's bring it down that left leg. Once you get to your fingers, let's bring the other hand over.
Try to reach the outside of the calf.
Of the right leg then?
On the left leg,
The left leg, right?
yep, down as far as you can. Down your shin. If you can touch the floor, happy days. Keep going across. If you're on your shin, that's fine. Now we're on our right leg. We're down as far as we can go. We're going to start sliding up towards our knee. Let our left hand reach up and behind. Try to have both hands on the back of our legs. Bum here is squeezed, so we're not going to pinch that lower back. Right hand moves over, tries to meet the left hand at the knee. Reach on down towards the floor. Brush across to the side. Both hands on the outside of the right leg. Slide on up that left hand, then coming around behind the legs. We'll do one final one. Really trying to move that spine the whole way from the neck down to the hips. Again, trying to keep those hips nice and square as we go through that movement.
Okay, we'll do the same the other way around. So right hand now slides down the right leg. Once we get to our knee, we bring that left hand over.
Keep sliding down the outside of the calf. Bring yourself across. Slide up the left calf, keeping the legs straight. Once you get to your knee, start to peel that right hand over, set it behind your leg. Stand reaching down as far as you can. Left hand comes over to the right knee, slide on down that leg. Try to make as smooth a circle here as we can. Really feel it down the obliques, in the hamstrings, lower back, upper back, all those places.
Okay, cool. So, nice thing about that one is it's got markers. You can kind of see when your hand reaches a certain part of your body, and therefore that helps you kind of coordinate the movement. This next one, not so. We're going to try to create a wave with our body. Okay. So we're going to try and go, if I pinch that in a wee bit tighter, there we go. We're going to try and stick your bum out, wave that body forward, and then tuck the bum under. And try and wave the body back. So trying to move from flexion to extension
Shakira.
as we go. Okay, now feel free for that to look like absolute plank of wood material. Alright, hopefully you've got a rough idea of what it is we're going to try and do. Yeah, you can either start from the head and work down, or from the hips and work up. Feel free to take your time in this one. There's a lot of things to coordinate, a lot of different vertebrae. I do wonder sometimes, gang. We do some ridiculous things here. Right, we're going to do one last one of that. The same but the opposite direction. Oh my goodness. We were doing the opposite direction. We did both directions, didn't we? Oh, no, we didn't. No. Yeah, try and reverse the movement. If you feel like Magic Mike, congratulations. Well done. You're doing it right. That's enough of that ridiculousness.
Just need some martingale.
So it might seem ridiculous, but learning to coordinate all that stuff together is super, super powerful. And then whenever we are looking to find a neutral spine, boom, it just happens. You don't have to really like do all this stuff. So we've done flexion, extension, wave. The last wave we're going to do goes through our lateral flexion. So if we were going all fours position, I call this sexy cat and cow. Hopefully you can, might do this one. So if we go this one, we call this one cow. Then we're going to try to push our waist to the side. So right here, push it to the side, and then come up, and then we'll push it to the other side, and down. So we're doing a circle, or gyrating that spine. Okay, I've been doing this for a while, so I can flow it together pretty well. But have a little play with that, see how sexy you can make it. Once you've tried it one way, then try it the other way. This is usually my most entertaining one to watch. People try. Just a bunch of people wiggling their arse in the air. Great stuff. Okay, gang, so I'm going to leave you with that. Feel free to continue to play a little bit more if you're feeling particularly frisky. Enjoy that. But good job tonight. It's there's an old Chinese proverb: you're as old as your spine. Okay? If we fail to take care of our spine, it will no longer take care of us. So there's a few things for you to try, and even if like one of those things sticks with you and you're able to do it semi-regularly, go beans. All right. Good job.
Good night.